Black Christmas came out in 1974. It was directed by Bob Clark and it's kind of renowned as a blueprint for a lot of slasher movies. The story revolves around a sorority house that is kind of shutting down for the Christmas time. People are going to go away, and at the start of the movie, and this was something that surprised me on rewatch, was the fact how quickly it starts. You see through the killer's eyes as he gains entrance into this house and then slowly begins to torture these girls with phone calls, with these horribly twisted, tortured, and really kind of crude phone calls. But some of the girls are up to the match and give him back as good as they are getting on this. And that is us. Within the first 5 minutes you're into this movie and you kind of know the setup, and they're so quick at doing it as well. We get this range of characters, the sorority sisters, we get the house mother as well, we get their relationships with various guys, and it all set up almost instantaneously. You also get a good geography of the house thanks to the direction. Like all good horrors, it creates a fantastic sense of atmosphere, down to the dodgy phone calls, the point of view of the killer who you never see his face. You're never quite sure what he looks like because you hear this gargled mess of a phone call. It lets the imagination run wild with you. You see an eyeball or two kicking through a small crack. You see some horrible deaths that are lacking in blood, but it doesn't reduce the impact of it. It's a tame movie gore-wise, but atmosphere-wise and horror-wise, it works tremendously well, and it shows you what you can do without having to go overboard or rely on bloody special effects. I think it works perfectly here. You also get these characters that feel fully formed. All the girls in the house feel completely three-dimensional characters. They all have their own issues. In fact, there's a nice subplot of a girl who is pregnant and wants to have an abortion, who's having a fight with her boyfriend about what they're going to do their lives. And it must have been shocking at the time seeing them discuss these things in such frank terms. And it may be a little bit diluted nowadays, but if you put it into your mindset of that, it really is quite cutting edge stuff to have in a horror movie. It's a horror movie with a little bit of substance. It takes time to build the characters, it takes time to build the tension and the atmosphere, and it pays off with a terrific finale, which is another thing that it does really well, another staple that it leaves for its horror legacy to catch on to. That ending, that little twist ending where you're like, you don't know, has this episode finished? Is there more to come? You don't know, there is no definitive answer. And it's great that it leaves you with that hanging on. This 101 release is pretty stacked with extras. It has Film and Furs, Remembering Black Christmas with Art Hindle, which is a 25-minute discussion with this character actor who has been in a load of things. I looked him up on IMDb after it. He's been in about 160 different titles, lots of TV shows, and he plays Peter in the movie, and he's just talking about his time there, how he got the role, what he thought of the movie, how its legacy has lasted on, and it's a fairly interesting piece. He's a man who can command the camera, and you sit up and listen to him tell his tales, and they're usually quite wonderful as well. You have Victims and Virgins, Remembering Black Christmas with Lynn Griffin. Lynn Griffin is one of the characters who gets killed off fairly early in the movie, but she is all the way through it. Her rocking corpse with the bag over its head is a staple of the movie, and she is telling her tale and how the legacy's lasted as well. She tells some really fun and interesting stories. She seems quite happy to have been in this movie, quite energetic about it, and she seems to be even happier just talking about it. We've got The Black Christmas Legacy, which is basically like a short documentary, and when I say short I mean like 45 minutes short. It really delves into the history and again the legacy, some nice tidbits about when they were making it. There's a small discussion with the cameraman who said that he created an almost rig so that he could get that point of view, so when he's climbing terraces and things like that. It's got some fascinating insight and a great, again, it's another terrific addition to this already stacked disc. There is an original TV spot and radio spots, which are always nice to see, the sort of adverts of the time, and then there is a fan expo which has got a few of the cast members just in front of an audience just talking about some of their experiences. This is probably, it's a neat thing to have on the disc, but a lot of the stories that are here are covered in some of the other documentaries, but it's nice just to see them kind of interact with the fans, and it's a fun addition to this disc. 101 Films Black Christmas is an essential pickup if you're a horror fan whatsoever. The extras are fantastic, the disc is pretty stacked, the picture quality is great, it keeps the grain, looks really good, the sound quality is fantastic, and I think it's one of the best horror movies ever made. If you haven't seen it, you need to go on it. Make sure you pick up the original, not the remake, although I do kind of like the remake as well. There'll be a link below where you can pick this up on Amazon. If you buy it through the link, I'll get a couple of pennies that I can put towards other Blu-rays, and there'll be a link straight to the 101 shop where you can go there and buy it and support this label as well if you want. I'd love to know your thoughts. Put them in the comment box below and let me know what you think of Black Christmas. What do you think is the best part of it? How does it hold up after all these years for you? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.